All right, welcome everybody to week 2 of DES 242, Logo and Identity Design. We have successfully made it through week 1 of the course, so 1 week down, 3 more to go. I am Shannon McNary, your graphic arts instructor, and let's take a quick look at our agenda for this evening. So I have a couple of announcements I want to go over. We're going to do a week 1 logo critique. We'll also be discussing logo uses and sizes, and then if we do have time tonight, I will get into assignment 2. If we don't have time tonight, then I will do that tomorrow evening. All right, so let's just pop over into our course and take a look at our announcements. I want to start with this one. All right, so this is my policy regarding resubmissions. So let's say that you submitted your assignment and your assessment for week 1, and you've read over my comments and you understand what you can do to fix either the assignment or the assessment to get a better grade. I do allow 1 resubmission per assignment or assessment for a better grade. I will ask that you have all those resubmissions in by the Tuesday of week 4, so November 21st, and discussion questions cannot be resubmitted. So kind of cut and dry. I do allow resubmissions once, so make sure when you're doing the resubmission that you've really taken the time to read over my comments and you're working off of those when you're doing that resubmission. Also, the internet is extremely slow. I don't know if anybody else was affected. I'm on the East Coast, and it seemed as though every single internet provider was down at some point today, and it seems like random things are still down or, slowly but surely coming up, but it seems like the internet is also extremely slow, and this is the only thing running in my house. Nobody's allowed to use any other internet when I am doing live sessions, so if things kind of hang up tonight, I just wanted to let you know that it could be from that. When I was looking at the outage map, it almost showed the entire US in red, which means that there's an outage, and it definitely showed most of the East Coast. So I noticed it when I was trying to work at the other school I work at this afternoon, which was kind of a bummer because I didn't get anything done for them because I did not have any internet. But lucky for you guys, it came back up, so I'm able to do our live session this evening. I was a little bit worried, so that's where that announcement came from. Tonight we're going to be doing that logo critique of your work that you submitted in the assignment for week 1. Also, if you have any missing work for week 1, there is still time to fix this. Try and get those missing assignments or assessments in as soon as you can. There is definitely still time to bring up your grade going into week 2. The only thing that cannot be submitted, if you did not submit it, is the discussion questions. So make sure you're getting those in each week. But if you do have any missing work from week 1, please don't hesitate to get that work in. And if you are missing work, that means that you have an email from me. Please make sure that you are responding to my emails and letting me know what is going on. Also, let's take a look at DJ's hours for this week. There are hours Monday tonight from 4 to 9 p.m. Mountain Time, Thursday from 7 to 11 p.m. Mountain Time, Friday from 5 to 11 p.m. Mountain Time, and Saturday from 4 to 10 p.m. Mountain Time. So if you're having any problems, please get in and see DJ to get some help this week. I think that's all I have for announcements. But while I'm over here, we might as well take a look at our discussion for week 2, so that way you guys can get started on this early. We're going to be talking about logo challenges within diverse companies. So Kind of an interesting topic. We're going to discuss the impact on logo and identity construction when a company diversifies product offerings. I've had this happen to me in the past at a couple of different businesses that I have, or companies that I've worked for. One of the most common ways a company will grow is by introducing new products to its overall brand portfolio. If a new product will be associated with existing products, this requires a company to choose amongst the three options. Create the new product as a sub-theme under the existing logo, modify the logo in some way to integrate the new product, create an entirely new logo to reflect the new focus of the company. So, a couple of times when this has happened to companies that I've been working for, we've gone with number one and just created a new product as a sub-theme under the existing logo. That's obviously the easiest option. I've also worked places where two companies have merged, and that's why they have new products. There has been, discussion of is there a way that we can combine the two logos together? So integrating that new product into the logo by modifying it. And then there have been other times where we have renamed the company and had to create an entirely new logo to reflect on that new focus. So I've kind of been through all three scenarios in my time as a graphic designer. So the latter two options are especially complex to navigate, though the changes are often done in the name of progress and because consumers can become emotionally tied to a product's unique look. A change in visual elements can be disrupting at best and at worst feel like a betrayal to the consumer. When a company decides to update their logo in any way, whether creating something completely new or merely updating a typeface or color choice, they must create a clear and logical rollout plan in place to communicate the thinking and reasoning behind their choice. In this way, the company opens up a dialogue with each consumer and allows him or her to better understand and feel part of the process. So a lot of the research that you did last week during the assessment, you can see where companies what their thought process was regarding the redesign of their logo, and you were one of those consumers who discussed whether or not you were emotionally tied to the product's unique look. You offered your opinion on their redesign, and a lot of people picked a logo or three logos that they were familiar with. So they actually had an opinion based on the fact that they were a consumer of that company. So whether you realize it or not, in a way, every single time you see a new logo and you make a decision about it, it's because you've become almost emotionally invested in their old brand. It's kind of interesting in a way. So our prompt for this week, for this discussion, we will once again return to the ice cream shop logo, the fake ice cream shop we discussed last week, and brand identity discussed in week one. Imagine that a few years have passed since you initially created the visual system for the ice cream shop. In this time frame, they have become hugely successful, expanding to 3 different ice cream outlets around the city. Growth has begun to stabilize, and the owners have begun to seek out other consumer markets to enter. Because the ice cream is especially popular with parents and children, the owners have decided to enter the children's toy market and create a series of educational games for mobile devices. Because you worked on their logo, they have approached you to help them navigate the visual look and feel of this new endeavor. Though you, the designer, know there is not one correct answer, you need to share with them the pros and cons of creating an entirely new visual identity for the game, keeping the existing logo, or creating a new hybrid logo that bridges both ice cream and games. In approaching this task, what would you tell them are the pros and cons of each of those 3 options? What option do you think is best for them to pursue, and why? So that's your opinion. If they decide to create a completely new logo that merged both ice cream elements and game elements, what marketing materials might they need to create to educate their consumers? So for your citation, you might use articles that show examples of how companies have managed to navigate their visual image and maintain consumer confidence when diversifying products that are produced. You can also find articles from experts that suggest ways logo design has been used to represent industries who have merged together. Your initial and reply post should work to develop a group understanding of this topic, challenge each other, build on each other, always be respectful, but discuss this and figure it out together. So per the due date, you must submit one main post of 150 words, one APA citation and reference, as well as 2 follow-up posts of 50 plus words to your fellow students. Responses can be addressed to both your initial thread and other threads, but must be your own words, each reply unique and substantial in behavior. So remember that part of the discussion grade is submitting on time and using proper grammar, spelling, etc. That's worth 20% right there. So make sure if, spelling and grammar aren't your strongest, your strong suit, type it up in Microsoft Word and copy and paste it in. That's what I do. I always type up my discussion questions in Microsoft Word first, and then I copy and paste them, and it helps me to catch those little mistakes. All right, so make sure that you are getting into the discussion post early this week. It'll give you time to get into your assignment after that. So again, if we have time, I will get into this evening, and if not, then we will do it tomorrow. So our assignment for week 2 is we're going to finalize those logo redesigns. So our objectives are to define the importance of size, revolution, and color pathway descriptions within logo and identity creation. Define and illustrate 3 elements of a strong corporate identity. So because there are many different correct answers when solving a graphic design problem, every project in which you are engaged will often require several rounds of edits before it is complete. And this is so true. I can't tell you how true this is. A successful logo, and by extension, corporate identity, is one that is simple, iconic, and consistent. Thus, logo design in particular requires much refinement to ensure what is created adequately reflects company goals, culture, and message. When you are preparing for a final logo presentation, it is best to show your design in a variety of ways, thus showcasing its flexibility and adaptability. Producing a logo sheet most often is the way this is shown. In addition to including a designer's name and client or project name, a logo sheet showcases the logo in the following iterations. It has it in black and white. It has it in grayscale. These are not the same thing. Black and white is just black and white. Grayscale has those different shades of gray in the logo. It has it in CMYK with the color swatches labeled or shown as a key. A logo in RGB with color swatches labeled or shown as a key. A color logo that is shown in the following sizes: 1 inch, 3 inches, and 6 inches. A black and white logo shown in the following sizes: 1 inch, 3 inch, and 6 inches. Logo in black and white shown on a dark background. Logo in color shown on a dark background, because it should work on not just a white background. So remember that. By providing the client with a robust set of options, you ensure that the logo will work in a wide variety of applications and remains recognizable in a wide variety of sizes. So last week, you worked on the preliminary sketches and black and white computer versions of a logo redesign project. Coming into this week, you should have 3 refined computer versions of your redesigned logo executed in black and white. After receiving feedback this week, you will finalize the logo direction you feel is most appropriate and create a logo sheet showcasing its appearance in a variety of sizes and situations. After receiving feedback on your week 1 submission, refine and finalize the logo direction that you feel is the most appropriate. So you're narrowing those 3 down to 1. So consider how you can best maintain message consistency within the typeface, color, and overall logo composition. So number 1, refine your best logo direction, the best of the bunch. Add the color elements that will work with the initial client's color requests and keywords. So you need to go back to those keywords and the color requests that were in the write-up that went along with the original logos. Create a set of logo sheets that include the following elements: a title bar with both your name and your client's name, original logo clearly marked before or existing logo, the logo in black and white, the logo in grayscale, color swatches in CMYK or showed as a key, logo in RGB with color swatches showed, labeled or showed as a key, black and white logo showed in the following sizes: 1 inch, 3 inch, and 6 inches. Color logo showed in the following sizes: 1 inch, 3 inch, and 6 inches. Black and white logo showed on a dark background. Color logo showed on a dark background. Create all elements of your logo within Illustrator and then use InDesign to create your set of logo sheets. Utilize master pages within InDesign to ensure that your title bar is consistent on each page, and use a grid when laying out elements to ensure consistent navigation through each page. Your submission should be at least 10 pages in length. So you're going to export that InDesign document as a multi-page PDF and name it accordingly, and then submit it both to, in the submit with the submit assignment button, and then you're also going to need to submit it to your Behance site and email me and your FPA a copy of or the link to your Behance site. So Behance does not allow you to upload PDFs, so you're going to need to also export a JPEG in order to upload your logo to Behance. I've tried it a couple of different times to see if I can, get a PDF to upload, or see if they change their ability to take PDFs, and they do not. So you have to send it up as a JPEG. All right, so kind of a lot. It looks like a lot, but really, once you've refined that one logo and you figured out a color scheme, you'll find that you kind of like move your way right through this assignment. So, don't be scared at the amount of the amount of words on the page. Basically, it's not that bad this week. All right, let's take a look at the assessment. So we're going to define the importance of size, resolution, and color pathway descriptions within logo and identity creation. Analyze the relationship that exists between a logo and a corporate identity. You are going to be taking a quiz that is 15 questions, 50 points. And here's the thing. There is no time limit to this quiz. So you can, definitely, if you don't know an answer, make sure that you take your time and you stop and, go back into the course media materials and look up the answer. So, just don't go flying through it. You only get one chance. And again, you have no time limit. So if you're kind of stuck on something, just kind of stop and say, hey, hold on a second. I am going to look up this. I know I read this somewhere, and make sure I got the answer correct. So again, 15 questions, no time limit. And that's it for this week. So let's pop back over into my slideshow, and I'm just going to mute myself for just 1 second. I just need to blow my nose. I have horrible allergies, and it was really windy today, so I feel like that's just a recipe for allergy disaster. So hold on 1 second so I can just blow my nose, and then you'll be able to hear me better. All right, thank you. All right, so we ended up kind of popping into the course a little bit early. But just a reminder of my telephone hours. They are Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Mountain Time to 4 p.m. Mountain Time. But the best way to get in touch with me is definitely through email. And I usually have my phone on me. So, you know, I can be pretty quick, but I do have another job. So if I don't get back to you right away, just realize, as soon as I can get in and check my emails, I will get back to you. A reminder about due dates: all assignments and assessments are due by Saturday at midnight for full credit. Communication regarding late work is key in this course. It will save you those missed points. So if you are, running into some time issues, please email me sooner rather than later to let me know. And your week 4 assignments cannot be turned in late. Your original discussion posts are due by Wednesday, and make sure you're responding to at least 2 of your fellow students by Saturday and posting on 2 different days. Late discussion posts will not be accepted past the Saturday deadline for the week. So make sure, even if you miss the Wednesday deadline, just make sure you have those discussions in by Saturday. And there was really a great effort this week in the discussion. So I love seeing that. And our live sessions we're back on our regularly scheduled program. Our live sessions are Mondays and Tuesdays from 4 to 6 p.m. Mountain Time. This will give you ample time during the week to get those assignments done. If you do need any outside help, the Student Success Center is open with tutoring available and no appointment is necessary. All right, so let's talk about size in relation to logo design. And I will say this: size does matter in logo design. Logo has to look good and be legible at all sizes. So that's why we got to be careful that we're not putting, too much detail into those logos. It's just not going to be as effective when it's really scaled down for letterheads, envelopes, or, business cards, smaller promotional items. All of that, too much definition gets lost when we start to scale those logos down. A logo also has to look good when it's used for larger formats, such as posters, billboards, and electronic formats, such as TV and web. So that's why if you have an illustration, your logo, it really is important that your line work is spot on. Because when you blow it up really big, any of those little minor, things that just didn't come out correct are glaring at a large size. So you have to be, if you are not good at illustrating, that's okay. And it's okay to just have a hiccups. Exactly. It's good to just, it's okay to have a word mark only logo. You do not have to have an illustration. Illustration is not my strong suit. But if you are going to put an illustration into your logo, then it needs to be spot on. The most reliable way to determine if a logo is working at all sizes is to actually test it yourself. Note that the smallest scale is usually the hardest to get right, so start by printing the logo on a letterhead or an envelope and see if it's still legible. You can also test for large-scale renderings by printing a poster-size version at a print shop, put it up on the wall, and look at it. If you are being paid to do this and you aren't sure if it's going to work, it's worth, the $3 that it costs at Staples to go have your logo printed up really large. I've done that before. I've had them, they print it up on crappy paper for you, but it only costs $3 so you can check. When it comes to logo design, again, size does matter. A logo has to look good and legible at all sizes. So I have 3 logos here that clearly do not work when they get scaled down. And then I have 3 logos that obviously will work when they get scaled down. Which do you think is the line that works, and which do you think is the line that doesn't work? And while you ponder this very difficult decision, I will take a sip of my coffee. Right, the top does not work. So and I need to kind of get out of the full screen for a second. When I scale these down small and present this again, you can't even read the wording. All I see is a C, a T, and a C. And I see a blob that I'm not exactly sure what this is. And this isn't even that small. I mean, like, let's look at the size of this. This is a good 1 inch high, and that would be half of a business card at 1 inch high, because a business card is only 2 inches by 3.5 inches. So already I can't see this logo at half the size it would be on a business card. So that tells you that, you know, that's just not a logo design. There's way too much going on in this logo. However, the Starbucks logo, the MasterCard logo, the Dunkin' Donuts logo, you know, they can all get scaled down and they will still work at the size. Next, let's discuss clever uses of color. So color theory is definitely complex, but designers who understand the basics are able to use color to their advantage. The basic rules to keep in mind are: use color near to each other on the color wheel. So example, if you want to have a warm palette, use red, orange, and yellow hues. Don't use colors that are so bright that they are hard on the eyes. The logo must look good in black and white, grayscale, and as 2 colors. Honestly, most logos, you will notice, are 2 colors. We have green and white. We have, you know, red, yellow-ish, well, red and orange, and then another orange in here. Pink and orange together, and then the brown is kind of an accent color. So you don't see a lot of logos that are 5 or 6 colors because it's just a little bit too much. I think true yellow can work, and by true yellow you mean like 100% yellow. I think in some situations it can work. It depends what you've paired it with. You know, and it also depends how much of it is there, I think. And that's my personal, you know, every situation is different. You know, if it's paired with a nice soft green, I definitely think it can work as being that pop of color, but I wouldn't make it the main color. I just think that might be a little bit too much. But again, it's kind of, you know, situational. You'd have to see it in order to kind of gauge whether or not it works. And that's where breaking the rules comes in. You know, breaking the rules sometimes is okay. Just make sure you have a good reason to. Knowing how colors evoke feelings and moods is also important. So, for example, red can evoke feelings of aggression, love, passion, and strength, which is, you know, great, but you might not use red for, let me think of a time you might not use red. Maybe for a baby food company. You know, bright red might be a little bit too strong for a baby food company. You might want more of a preschool or something like that. You know, that might be a little bit too strong. Keep this in mind as you try out different color combinations and try to match the color to the overall tone and feel of the brand. Playing around with individual colors on their own is another good idea. Some brands are recognizable solely by their distinct color. For example, when you think of John Deere, you think of that John Deere green color. And this sets this brand apart from its competitors and, more importantly, makes the brand all the more recognizable. Or right, Coca-Cola, you think of that red, the red of Coca-Cola. You would probably think of blue, that blue when you think of the Facebook logo. Or Twitter, you know, 2 different blues, but as soon as you say it, you can see the color in your mind. So again, color theory is complex, but designers who understand the basics are able to use color to their advantage. One of these options definitely is using color to its advantage, and one is not. And here's the thing too, they both logos have kind of a goldish tint to them and green. One of them works and one does not. The John Deere logo works. This Millennium Interiors does not work. It's just the gold is too muddy. It's too brown. It definitely does not work over this dark background, and the dark background is part of the logo. So it's not just that this logo was placed on a dark background. It's actually part of the logo. And then you've got purple and green and brown, which was clearly supposed to be kind of gold, but it's very difficult. You can't make gold in CMYK. The closest you're gonna get is kind of an orangey yellow. There's no true gold CMYK breakdown. So this is something you gotta think about when you are picking those colors. This is a much brighter yellowish gold, which might have then worked, but alas, they did not go with that color scheme. All right, remember the KISS principle. Keep it simple, stupid. The simpler the logo, the more recognizable it will be. For example, the Nike swoosh is an extremely simple logo. It is also one of the most recognizable in the world. I didn't put an image of the Nike swoosh on this slide, and I'm pretty sure that as soon as I said the Nike swoosh, you had a visual of it in your head. You know exactly what it looks like. That logo follows the KISS rule, of keeping it simple. So follow those KISS rules right from the start of your design process when you are brainstorming ideas and doodling those sketches. If it's overly complex, start over. You shouldn't have it shouldn't be a picture when you're done. A logo is simple. So remember that, and it's so easy for us to just keep going and going and going and going with it. And before we know, we have a picture. We no longer have a logo. Often you'll find that you start with a relatively complicated design and end up with a simpler version of it at the end. Work the design down to its essentials and leave out all unnecessary elements. So here we go. On the left versus the right, that alternate escapes versus the Nike swoosh. The simpler the logo, the more recognizable it will be. I don't even know what alternate escapes is, but their logo is hurting my eyes. So it's definitely not working. Yeah, I almost want to look up what they are. I found this alternate escapes. I don't even know. Destination by design. Nope, it's definitely not that. That's a good logo. Oh, right here. Whew. I don't even know what they do. Oh, they're a recreational center. All right, they have pool, I guess. Okay. They need a logo redesign. And you kind of feel bad when it's a small business and their logo didn't get it right on the first time. But you know what? I mean, that's where we come in. We don't work at big ad agencies. We're not going to work on the Nike redesign, but we can work with small business owners and say, hey, listen, you know what? I think that your logo kind of missed the mark and I know how to fix it. We can simplify this. We can get it right for you. So, that's definitely, it's something that we can do on a smaller, as smaller graphic designers, even just graphic designers starting out, kind of look around, go through, even, we still get phone books, although most of us probably throw them away, but go through the phone book and look and see what's, some businesses in your area, take a look at their ads that they may have placed, take a look at their logos and see if they need somebody to freshen up their look. It's a great way to get some freelance work. Go easy on the effects. See? Don't go, that is not going easy on the effects. So Adobe Illustrator, freehand, which I don't even think exists anymore, Photoshop, and other graphic design programs are extremely powerful tools and have many filters and effects that you can apply to your logo, but please do not get carried away. There is a time and place for these powerful tools, but it is not necessary to design a logo. Of course, playing around and seeing whether they enhance a logo is fine, but remember that simplicity is key. So you shouldn't have, drop shadows and bevel and embosses and outlines and all these other things, borders on your logo. It's just too much. Simplify, simplify, simplify. So again, another logo that just kind of missed the mark. We have a gradient, we have a drop shadow, we have a outer bevel, I believe, we have a border, we have a some sort of a blur effect. There are just so many things it's like every single option that was available in Photoshop is on this logo right now. It's too much. And the thing is too, is they have a very cute graphic here, and precision well and pump systems with the water drops splashing. There are some good elements that can be taken from this logo, and then it's just getting lost in everything else that's going on. And the drawing is not vector. Another thing, exactly. When you start adding all of these effects, your logo is no longer vector. So, again, simplify, simplify, simplify. Look at the progression of the Apple logo. Their first logo, even though it was only around for 1 year, this isn't a logo. This is a very detailed illustration. We've got a whole picture going here. It almost looks like a lithograph. And then we have, definitely simplified with the colorful apple, and then right to the black and white apple, which is, sleek and modern. Apple doesn't need color. Apple can be black and white. So the whole point of remember, the goal ultimately is recognition of your logo. The whole point to creating a logo is to build up that brand recognition. So how do you go about doing this? It definitely varies from case to case, but the goal with the logo is for the average person to instantly call the brand to mind. A few examples of this are the logos for Coca-Cola, Pepsi, McDonald's, and Nike. Just a glimpse of any of these logos is all you need to recognize those brands, because they are iconic, they are simple, and we recognize them. Even though we do see them everywhere, we recognize them. Pepsi was able to drop the name from their logo, and they've simplified this circle over the years, and we still know this is Pepsi. Nike dropped the name and is just the swoosh. Coca-Cola has had a couple of different options, even just Coke, and they've gone back to the original Coca-Cola. And then even without the word McDonald's, if we just saw the golden M, we know the golden arches. The key to making a popular and recognizable logo is to combine all of the elements that we discussed in this slideshow. So size, style, color, typography, and originality. Overlooking any of these during the design process will impair the quality of your final design. Examine your logo design and see whether it meets all of these criteria. A quick test to determine if your logo is recognizable enough is to invert it using any graphic design software and see if you can still recognize the brand. Additionally, you should mirror the logo and see if it's easily recognizable in this state. So if I took the Nike swoosh, which was black on a white background, and I inverted it and it was white on a black background, I would still know it was the Nike swoosh. Same thing with the McDonald's logo. If I inverted those colors, I would still know it's McDonald's. That's because that's a quick way to see that it works. Keep in mind that logos aren't always seen head-on in real-world situations, for example, on the side of the bus or a billboard that you drive by. I always say this when you're designing something. Is it recognizable if somebody is going 70 miles an hour down the highway? Stop and think about that. Your logo needs to be recognizable as somebody flies past it on a billboard going 70 miles an hour. Are they going to be able to read the name and understand what it is when they are flying by at 70 miles an hour? It's a good test, you know, and if you're not sure, hold your logo up for 2 seconds in front of somebody on a paper and put it back down and say, all right, what do you remember from that? That's the way to tell. So therefore, you should make sure to view your logo designs from all angles and ensure that it's recognizable from any direction before you submit it to your client. And that was my last slide. All right, so let's do our logo critique. And this is completely anonymous. I have just numbered the submissions. It's actually, there's 18 of them. And we can just kind of go through. And I would love to know your opinion. We'll look at both the sketches and then we'll look at the 3 more detailed revisions, and we'll decide if, you know, like, and it's okay if you like a sketch better than the 3 that were picked. Definitely let that person know, because, you know, sometimes when we're sitting there staring at our own work, we're like, I have to pick 3. I don't know. I feel emotionally invested in all 9 of these. Yeah, how am I going to pick? So, you know, sometimes it's good to show other people and say, well, which 3 do you think are the strongest? So, because sometimes they might think it's 3 ones that are different. All right, and here's how we're going to do this critique as well. We're going to do a, they call it the love sandwich, which means we're going to start off with something positive about it. We'll move on to what we think can be fixed, and then we'll end on a positive note as well. And if you want, you can type in the chat, but if you want to turn your microphone on, that's okay with me as well. It's really up to you. And I'll open up our first one. Right, let me make sure I've got it all in the, so these are the 9 sketches for a redesign of the Metropolitan Art Museum. I'll show the top 6, and then we'll look at the last 3. So what are your thoughts going into this one?
I like the splatter.
Yeah, and if you notice, the splatter was in the original version. Mm-hmm. So I like that they kept, you know, like that same feel, because I think that might have been one of the only things that worked in the original version was the splatter. So I really like this as well. I think of the 3, I think, you know, the ones that have the splatter, I think this one works the best.
I like that one too. I think the lettering is a little, it could be tighter.
Yes, I agree. Like the spacing, just moving these in. And I think, you know, let me zoom in for a second. Here we go. No, I don't want to find. I want to zoom in. So I think where,
because the first one is
just starting to run into here. Yeah. That could be a little bit weird, and I would probably remove, like, you know, the white blob here and a white blob here. Make sure it's all black. Right. Move these closer, but I think that that's a good, strong option.
Yeah.
I also like the easel for the letter A in this one. I thought that was extremely clever, and then right here, I really liked this one, where the easel is the A and then it's also the T. I thought that was pretty cool. Although I get it's kind of getting lost as a T. I get it can be the T, but what I might have done, because I think that this is a really good concept, is I might have had it be the A in all 3. So like Metropolitan Although, oh, it's the T in all of them, in both of them,
I think if
Metropolitan.
there's
I might
two,
have made it be the A.
I would say the A too, because I was looking at it as an A.
I was looking at it as an A also, and I just realized it's not the A. So then I think what I would probably do, because I think this is a really, like a really good idea, I would probably have it be like LIT, lose the AN, and then have it be art, and then
I mean, with the G by itself
that
making
would
it
be a little, yeah, I think you might need to maybe squish it up and then
actually,
have art gallery underneath. I don't know.
what if you put the G underneath the R and then try it?
Yeah, you could. Yeah, yeah, yes, I see what you're saying right here. Gallery. I wonder if it might run over a little bit. I don't know. I feel like if you kept working at it, I feel like it would work. I also like this one, but I feel like where these letters were too spaced out, I feel like these ones are just a little too close.
Because it looks like the same as number one.
Yeah, yeah, it does. And I get like I like the idea of like making it one object. I just think I think like it needs like a little bit more. What you might need to do is maybe connect the A to the G and the A to the M, like, make sure that the round part of the A lines up right with the line of the M, and it doesn't. So you might need to just kind of edit those letters just a little bit and kind of.
I think the letting is too close.
Yeah, it is a little bit too close. It's almost like one of those things where it's like it's almost there. And then I liked the idea of these ones with the squares. The reason why is I feel like Metropolitan Art Gallery to me sounds like it kind of reminds me of like New York City, even though it's not in New York City. Like they kind of want to be New York, you
Big
know? Even though it says that I think it said that they were located in Colorado. I feel like metropolitan, like city life, like downtown. And there's something like very retro about the squares, which I do like. I do think though the full name needs to be there, like Metropolitan. You could do art gallery in a lighter font at the bottom.
Yeah.
But I think if you're going to do the name, I think you need to do either the full name or the initials, I think, do work. And I kind of liked this one too.
Yeah, I like that one. On that first one over there, you can even, I mean, you can play with the art gallery.
Right.
Put them in other squares.
Right, yeah. No, there's something like just so retro about this. I really like retro stuff. So I was like, oh, that's really cool. And then these were the three that were further developed. So a little bit different from what we had going on up here. I do like that the easel becomes the A in this one. And then it's kind of funny because then this one, the ones that we were discussing didn't get picked. Like, I don't know. I feel like you could totally do something with this one.
I like number 3.
Yeah.
Number 9.
Yeah, or this one. Yeah.
Yeah, and I like, where's the other one?
Oh, hold on. There you go.
3, 6, and 9.
Yeah, yeah, these were probably my favorites too. So it's kind of funny because it's like, oh, all right, but I think that, it's definitely been taken in a new direction, which is good. I think it's definitely it's an improvement over the original, which is really good. All right, so that was the first one. So good job. All right.
Would the MAG work, or would spelling out the whole Metropolitan Art Gallery be better?
It honestly, I think it depends on how long they've been in business. Like if they're well known and they've been in business for like 35 years, and everybody knows who they are, and they can do a whole thing about how they've redesigned their look and everything else, and they're the MAG now, they're MAG or something. I think it would work if they were an art gallery that maybe had been around for 1 or 2 years and they had a pretty good following, and then they just dropped their name from their logo. I think people might get confused. So that's where it kind of depends. It's kind of not, it's not an easy one to answer.
Yeah.
And seeing as these are hypothetical companies, it's even harder,
Right.
All right, so now we have Hale and Carter's Guitar Academy.
I like that guitar.
This one?
The one above it.
Oh, this one.
Axe one. Other one. Yeah, this one. The one on the right.
Okay, we'll go to the sketches first. So here were the sketches. So it seems like each sketch has that guitar in it. My thought is I like the idea of keeping the guitar, but I'm wondering do you have to show the whole guitar to get the message across? Or can you just show, like the top of, half of where the strings are and the top of the guitar? I don't play guitar, so I don't know the correct terminology. Then I think it's like the neck, but I don't know what this part's called. Just this part of the guitar and make it work, to simplify it a bit. Because I think that it's just, it's too much. Hale and Carter's up here is very far away distance-wise from the Guitar Academy. It's just, you notice this right away. You notice the guitar right away. You notice Guitar Academy, but you almost don't see the name right away.
Right.
So that's where I'm thinking. And I actually kind of liked the skull guitar, randomly enough.
I'm starting to look at it. I like the skull too, because I started looking at because I like that the guitar part of this one, the one that looked like the triangle.
Yep.
I like the guitar, but that Helen Carter, it's weird because like the guitar string is like broken and
right, and it's like the guitar strings kind of break and they go into the letters, and I can see where that's going. And you know what? I almost think that this one might work with something like that. All right, like if you just took just this part of the guitar and maybe flipped it upright and then had the names running through and the strings break off to the letters, I think it could work because I like the idea of that.
I was just thinking maybe if you just connect all the strings onto the guitar and then find a way to like, what's the words? Find a way to make the Helen Carters kind of blend with the guitar itself. I mean, even if you put like a line through the Helen Carters, kind of like a guitar string itself.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yep. Yeah, I think that it just, there's a lot going on. So when we get this really small, the name's going to get lost in each of these. It's just, they're really complex. So I just think that they need to be simplified. Like these letters are hard to read. These fonts are hard to read. Right. So I think it needs to get, I just think that it needs to be much more simplified.
I think the guitars need strings too.
Yeah, these two do. Yeah, that's why I think like this is like a simpler guitar sketch, and I just feel like this works. Like something with this sketch, like this, I like the sketchiness of it. How it feels like a sketch works, right. And maybe kind of flipping it up and down and leaving the name this way, but then the part of the guitar comes down through the name. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I feel like, maybe even like this part of the guitar is up here, but this part is just down here, and you don't have the full body in between.
Right.
That could work. That would kind of simplify it too. So I think it's almost there. It just needs to be simplified enough, a little bit more.
Right.
All right, let's take a look at this one. All right, we have another Metropolitan Art Gallery.
If that circle wasn't so big.
Yeah, this is a little bit thick.
And then the MAG, I don't know. It doesn't look centered.
The thing is it probably technically is centered, right, but visually it doesn't look centered. And that actually is a thing. It also, like, the M is running into the A, but the G, it's not connected. So I feel like that could be throwing it off. I feel like you might need to scale the letters down and visually center the A.
Yes.
And I think that it would work, because sometimes you have to visually center.
I wonder, and this is probably just me, when if you put the letting out, like, a lot?
Yeah, that's, that might be something that works too.
Yeah. And then, like, shrink the black circle a little bit.
Yep. I think that this one definitely, I think this is a sketch. So I think this one definitely has potential. Then we have this, which is the ink blotch. But I might, like I said, you need to work on the line work. So what I would possibly do is use the ink blotch from the original and just make, the original logo, keep their ink blotch. And then that could work. I'm not a big fan of this font, though.
No.
I like this font much better. I feel like this is a much more metropolitan font.
Yeah.
So I think if you kind of use this font and then the original ink blotch, but I like the thought process behind this. But I would also lose the border, because borders don't scale well.
I wonder if you would like, because if you use the ink blotch kind of method, if you can take the letters to kind of blend in with the blotch itself.
Yeah.
Like it's splattered in.
Right. I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's an option. Then we have this, which is the two paint brushes, and then you have the easel in the back. Again, I think it needs to be simplified a bit. And again, just gonna kind of watch the line work. It's getting a little bit, this should be a nice curve right there. And the brushes to me almost look like hands that are being held.
Yeah.
So it's not so much that that's a bad thing, I mean, you could kind of make like brush hands, and that might be kind of something interesting. But I don't think that you need the easel.
No.
I think it's just it's one more thing, I don't think that it needs per se.
If you did use the easel, let's say you just make a big easel, and then it look like you're painting the paintbrushes in there and using the Metropolitan Art Gallery right in the easel. Yeah,
that's a good option. And even going back to that first one, what if you have two curved brushes here that kind of connect, like a brush and then a brush? You know how sometimes you see it with like the leaves, like the Roman leaves, but instead of it being leaves, it's paintbrushes? That could be kind of interesting.
Right.
Oh, okay, and now these are the sketches. So those were the three we found, and here is the sketch of the ink blotch, a whole gallery. This is just, there's too much going on in this. I like the idea of the mountains in the background, because I believe that the write-up said that it was in Colorado, so I like the idea of that. But the whole street scene is just, that's a picture now. We're not, we've gone past the logo into pictures. And then we have the MAG, Metropolitan Art Gallery, and it almost looks like it's in you know, one of those signs, like those hand carved signs you would see. So that's interesting. I kind of like that idea.
I oh, well, that's hard to read.
Yeah. And then here's the one in the circle. And I really like this one, which is the mountains. I would take out the square, but I think like the mountains inside of the circle with Metropolitan Art Gallery, if you had a nice font underneath, I think that that would really work.
And if the mountain looked like a painting.
Yeah, yeah. Like you can definitely like with some line work, you want it to be simple, but some line work. I think that could really work. I really like that one. And then again, this was just a little bit too much with the street scene going on. Again, we're back into a picture.
Yeah.
And then we've got Metropolitan Art Gallery inside of the brush. And that was the one with the two brushes and the easel.
The one with the brush would be interesting, especially if you made the brush nice, long and skinny.
Yeah.
And then like put the Metropolitan Art Gallery in the brush, kind of like an engraving.
Yeah, you have to be careful though when it gets really small that you don't lose the wording.
Right.
And then this one. And then this, I kind of like the idea of, again, kind of goes back to being retro, you know, like inside of the diamonds.
Right.
I feel like that might be able to work. And that was the original. So I think out of all of them, honestly, I really liked this one.
I like that one too.
Yeah, just losing the square. I don't think it needs to be inside of this box. I think if you just had the nice mountains inside of the circle with Metropolitan Art Gallery, even if you did Metropolitan Art Gallery, maybe going around it, kind of like this, and in here,
right,
you have the mountains, that could be really cool.
I think the refined ones are kind of going in the right direction.
I think so too.
A little bit of reworking.
Yeah.
Like if you go with that one, just to work that spacing out a little bit. Like I said, I would just bring out the leading a little bit, and then that should go ahead and help with the whole fact of it looking more centered than trying to put the sizing of the letters to match the circle.
Right. Yep. No, I agree. I think it was definitely moving in the right direction. All right, let's go to the next one. All right, we have another Hale and Cardiff. People liked either the art gallery I found or they really liked the guitar place. Let me just see. Okay, so these are sketches. So here is a sketch number 1 using the music symbol for the and. I like that idea.
I would use a different font.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan. I like the H and the C, but I'm not a huge fan of the rest of the font. I agree. Or even just, what if you, which I don't know if this is, what if you moved like the H and then the music and the C and then you just put underneath it Hale and Carter's, like smaller? I think that would work.
Yeah.
I think that I really like the idea of using the music symbol, you know, as the and. Kind of like yeah, this is kind of getting. I almost wish that the music symbol was here instead of the and sign.
Right.
For this one,
and
I think that'd be really cool.
And then you can square it out.
Yeah.
You know, like a 3/4 thing, like you want to put a square, and then just use them and make them all even.
Okay, yep. Then we have this one. And again, I almost wish I'm seeing the music sign because I really like the idea of that from the first one.
I like it too.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, that looks a lot better.
Yeah, I really like this. I know what it is I'm just not a fan of the ampersand in this font.
Right.
I like that one. Oh, I like this inside of the
and once again the treble clef would work.
Yep, it definitely would. I like that. Oh, I really like this one.
I like that too. Um,
But
I
again, what if this went into the music note for the end instead of going into the ampersand? I think that'd be really cool.
the bass clef would actually look really, really good with that.
Oh, okay.
Especially
Yeah.
because of the fact that it has, kind of the half circle kind of thing to it. And I
Yep.
think that will work a little bit better.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right. I just love the guitar coming up out of that. I think that that's
Yeah,
great. Which this is it more simplified, but I really like this with the guitar.
right. And because then, when you start looking into like, um, the identity of the logo, if you want to strip everything and just use the music note with the guitar coming out of it,
Oh yeah, definitely. You
similar
could
enough.
just
Yeah,
go down to H and C that way. Like what if this one, the H and C had this, but with the music, like you said, the bass treble. Like that could just be so cool.
right.
Then this is the simplified version of it, and then we're back to here. I think with all of the other ones we've seen, this one feels a little bit plain
Yeah,
compared. And then, although I will say, I like it inside of the
guitar pick. Yeah,
the guitar pick. Again, I'm not a fan of the ampersand, but I like where it's going here inside of the guitar pick.
right.
And then, oh, here we have. It looks like something fell off, like when making the PDF. I like that this has gotten bigger, but I think I'm with you. I would like to see, one of the music notes instead.
Right.
But I like the idea of this one. I like this one, but again, I think I'd rather see a music note there.
Right.
And
See, that one looks a lot better.
yep,
I would probably make the guitar pick a lot smaller.
right, and kind of nest it between these two and move the H and the C in. Yeah,
Right. I would say half the size of that, and then you move it in, and that
yeah.
looks
I
really
think
good.
that definitely like a ton of good options here.
I would probably change the font of the Guitar Academy though.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. You have to be careful because this is really a very stylized font. So pairing a font with this, it would need to definitely that be really simple.
I would say something like if you're gonna keep the H and C the way it is, um, something like a really, really crisp like sans serif, like let's say
Like
like even like a
Futura or something.
like an Arial black where it's like nice and crisp, like with the corners and everything.
Yeah, that would
Like,
work. No, I think that this is I think definitely some really good directions we're taking with this. I like the whole thought process of that one. Oops. This one, all right, so we've got Central Park software. I like, this is what I like about these sketches. I can see the thought process that went into these sketches, like park, maybe an acorn. I like the idea of that, like, because it's Central Park. Software solutions.
I like the
I
bottom left one.
This one or
The
this?
bottom left. I, it looks interesting.
Yeah, it is. Definitely it does. I like that too. Like,
Is that
a
a light
solution
bulb?
is a light bulb, having a light bulb like moment. Like I like that idea. I like the idea of the acorn. Um, and I kind of like what's going on here where it's kind of the building blocks.
Yeah.
Like I like the building blocks, like we're building your solution for you. I like the idea of that.
Yeah, I like the first one. I do like the acorn. I actually do like the first one on the second row.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that idea too with the software solutions going around it. Yeah, I
Right.
like that. All right, let's take a look and see. So we've got um, the CP software solutions. We've got this one, and then we've got what was this one right here. I almost want to see like maybe more of the hatch work. Out of these,
I like this. I like the one on the left on the bottom.
I do like this one. I worry that these might, because they are
Yeah, I would say I think it's too many. But if you simplify those circles,
Yeah, yeah, or even just instead of them having a
ooh, how
white
about
with a
lines?
black border, maybe fill them in.
How about lines?
Oh yeah.
If you turn all the circles into lines, and
Yep.
even if you wanted to do, let's say, every other,
That's
just so that the lines
yeah.
don't be too much, I think that might work.
That might work. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I also like the simplicity of this one.
Yeah,
So yeah, I think between these two, these are two good contenders. This one just needs to be simplified. Um, and I like the simplicity. I might even like, instead of having it software solutions running right underneath, like what if you just kind of started here with software solutions?
right. And
Like just to make it a little bit more interesting. But I wish I had seen the acorn because I really like that one.
I the I was just looking at the color of that one because this is the one I was going to
Oh,
choose.
really?
But I was like, I wanted to do something to really stretch, so I decided not to because I wanted to play with that color choice of how they did
The
it
dot?
looked like a gradient, the
Yeah.
rainbow gradient, because I think that even though gradients aren't really supposed to be used for logos, I think if you did that bottom one and you try to take that color palette and put it on a circle, I think it will look really interesting.
Yeah. Or even like you said with the lights, like if you start out with like a yellow line, an orange line, or a
Right.
yellow line, or actually, where is it? It's like yellow, yellow, orange, yellow,
Mm,
yellow, green, 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 blue, 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 purple, purple, and you worked your way
yeah,
through the
yeah,
color spectrum. I think that would look kind of cool.
right.
So I think that there, that would be, I think in this case, that would be a good use of like using the colors of the rainbow.
Right. Especially that it would really, really go with what they have already. And
Yeah,
it looks like it'll just modernize it.
yeah, yeah,
That's not
exactly.
too much.
Yeah, so I think that that might be a good idea to like, yeah, I think that, like I said, I think both of these are definitely right on the right track.
Right.
All right, awesome. Let's take a look at the next one. Oh, another Metropolitan Art Gallery. And splotches. So you can see these are the splotches that came with it. So being used. So I think these are sketches. So we have,
Um, I'm wondering, because I like that. I wonder if you do something like, let's say, the path tool. So
yep,
the end looks like it's almost in the blotch itself.
yeah,
Same thing with that A and G. If you use something like the path tool to cut out
like around it.
and like leave it white and let the splotch go
Oh yes,
through
yep, yep. So it's like yeah. So right here where it goes in, it turns to white and comes back out.
it. Right.
I think that that could be really cool because you're kind of losing the rest of the like a little bit too much of the word
Right.
where you're not sure, is it Metropolitan Art or am I missing a letter in between N and A over here?
Exactly. And then you can work on the letting a little bit because you could probably bring the A in some more
Yep.
and put the R inside the blotch too
Yep.
and just start playing around with it.
Yep. Definitely. Definitely. I like that idea. I like that idea for that one. Then we have this. I think that this is just, it reminds me of Scrabble.
Yeah.
And, maybe if there were squares, like if you're going to do something like this, like I think like you need to make it intentional. So what if you had like you showed some of the plane or something, you know, and I don't know if I lost you or oh, that was
No, no,
weird.
I'm here.
Oh, okay. I lost myself on the iPad for a second.
Uh,
La da da. I think if you could make it like a little bit more intentional, it could work, but not like I just don't feel like it's working like this. And I think also I think
I
this
would
is
change
what
the font.
works for one of the words, but not for all of them.
Right. I see. I would change the font. Um, it's like too scripty.
Yeah, it's scripty without being a script. It feels
Right.
very avant-garde.
Yeah.
Then we have this. I kind of like the idea of this because when you think of art, you think of like kind of like a coffee shop sometimes, and I like it. It
Right.
kind of look like coffee rings, like when you put your cup down, which I
Yeah.
kind of like.
It looks like the Olympic rings, but I can see something like this just playing with a simple red, yellow, and blue.
Yeah, yeah, like the primary colors.
Right. And then the Metropolitan Art Gallery, I kind of like that font.
Yeah,
It's,
I would
it's
maybe
like,
like I might make like Metropolitan Art, like maybe leave that on what like the size it is, but maybe make gallery a little bit bigger. I just feel like both lines and again you gotta kind of work on the letting or the kerning. Oh, excuse me. Told you it was allergy season this evening. I think like if you worked on the kerning, but I kind of like how it looks like an old typewriter, and then maybe you typed out the pages and you put your coffee cup down. I don't know.
right.
Yeah, like I kind of like the idea of it. I think it just needs to keep being pushed, but I think I think that this is a solid contender.
Yeah.
And then we have this one.
Now, I like that splotch.
I like this splotch too. I feel as though the words, the letters need to be filled with
I
white.
would I would say so too, and then you could probably still play with the like if you made them all black,
Yep.
and then if you made, let's say, if I got this right, if you did the letters in all black, and then you make the splotch an actual color. I'm trying to think of a good color. Let's say like a green.
Yeah, yeah.
And then do the same thing with the first one, like inside the splotch where the letters are, if you just make them white
Oh,
or
okay.
cut
Yep.
them out and just, I don't know if that would be too much, but I think that would be interesting to look at.
Yeah, I think it would be interesting to see how it comes out too. I agree. I definitely agree. Let's see. I like where I like where this one is going. I think it just needs more.
I think so too.
Like I like it the first one, but I almost want to see this circle scooched up and go with the curve of the E
I wonder
and
if what would
overlapping
happen.
this one too.
I wonder what happened if you would make it bigger, like the circles. If you
Right.
go from M to the first O, and
Oh
like
yeah.
make it like bigger so that the circles go into the art as well.
Yeah.
Because the
Like
art
if you're
looks
gonna
like
do it go big.
right.
Yeah.
Because then you can make the actual rectangles bigger too, and you can put that like into the metropolitan. So like the actual shapes blend in with the actual letters as well.
Yeah. No, I like that idea. I think that's a good idea. And then I like this one. I think I think like the kerning is a bit off. I think I want this to scooch over just a little and this to scooch over just a little so it's like right on the edge of the A, both of the
I
letters.
I wonder if you would. I mean, because with this, ooh, this one would be interesting. So I actually tried something like this once. So if you take off like for the M, if you keep the line straight, the little triangle here
Yep.
for the A, if you remove that and then remove the rest of the pointing of the A from the G so that like they merge into one
Right.
actual shape.
Yeah, I think that that could work. I agree. Then we have this one. This is just I think that when you squish this down, it's going to get lost. You know,
Yeah.
it's too much on one line.
Or if you made the M and A, or like if you took the line from the M and A
Yep.
and you made it go down a little bit more, if you shrink it, I think it might work.
Possibly. I just feel like, you know, think of it on a business card. It's going to be so small to fit there. It's going to be like this.
I
Metropolitan
wonder,
Art Gallery.
right. And then I wonder if you use an actual like squared off font.
Yeah.
Or even if you decided to make like, let's say, a double line.
What if you move Art Gallery underneath and then you have them like the lines do this and connect?
That would work. I think that would work too.
Yeah, that could be kind of cool. And then we have this. This font to me says military.
That's the stencil font.
Yeah, I think of it on the side of on the side of an old Jeep from like World War II.
Now, the paintbrush to replace the A.
I think that can work, but I just don't think it's working this because at the same time this also looks to me like a because I'm thinking military, it looks to me like a medal.
It looks like a shield to me too.
Yeah.
Like, what if you took no, because now I'm thinking about the rescaling. So I'll say if you took it and made 3 paintbrushes to make the A, if it was shrunk, would you still get it?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. Out of the other ones, I don't think that this is a strong contender.
No.
And that happens when you're doing those sketches. And then I like this. I feel like it needs to be pushed again, like maybe bigger, like almost like this big.
Or even like if you do it bolder, let's say, ooh, I like this one. So if you made the M, let's say twice as big.
Yeah.
And then colored it and just put the rest of it kind of almost where it is, because it's like the M could be bigger and the rest could be smaller.
Yeah, and just fix the kerning between right up to the T. Like the A and the N is good, and this isn't that bad. I moved this T over. Like, just gotta address that kerning. I think this is a strong contender. Hi, you can turn on if you want. We're doing our logo critique, so you can turn on your microphone if you want to jump into the critique.
Roger that.
So, yeah, I feel like this could be a really strong contender. It just needs to get pushed a little bit more in this direction.
I really like this one. I mean, I would rework the lettering for the rest of the Metropolitan Art Gallery, so that the A doesn't, because the A or T look like it's getting smaller, and smaller.
Yeah. I'd probably move.
That's just how it is.
Yeah, I would probably just move art, change the spacing from art to gallery. There's a big space there. I'd probably move that over to like right here, where the T ends right here. Just kind of, really tighten up the kerning. But I think that's a strong competitor. And I'm not sure. I don't know which 3 it does. It might have been in a different PDF. I was gonna say I don't know which 3 were chosen, but
yeah, I would be interested to see what 3 is chosen.
Yeah. Then we have another. Here it is. Okay, here are the 3 that were chosen. All right, it was 2 separate PDFs. I downloaded them both. All right, so we have this one. The blotches have gotten lighter, so.
I like that blend in effect, just to go ahead and make the white through the blotch.
Yep, I agree. I think that would be really cool. So it becomes like almost like one color in a way.
Correct.
I like that idea too. And then this one, again, the same thing we were talking about, just kind of making this
one shape.
Yep, one shape. And then this one.
So
it's the 3 we liked as well.
Right. Yeah, I would go with the last. I mean, with a little bit of work, yeah, that last one will be great.
I think so too. Yeah, I definitely agree. I think that this is a really strong one.
And especially if you can go ahead and make those bubbles a color. I mean,
Yeah,
play with it. I mean, just choose a color. It doesn't. I guess it does matter, but it doesn't matter what the color is.
I feel like it would almost work at any color.
Right, and then you can just work the shading of the bubbles to make some lighter, some darker, some more medium to just make it look like art.
Yep, I agree. I definitely agree. All right, let's see. All right, we're back to Hale and Carter's Guitar Academy. So again, there's too many images in this one. So this is again where we got to kind of simplify. There's technically 4 pictures here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I would pick one. I feel like everybody's been doing a guitar, but I like the idea of maybe doing an amp. Maybe like lay the amp on its side.
Right.
And maybe the words are going through the amp, so here's the top of the amp and the bottom of the amp. That could kind of be cool.
Or just go ahead and put the actual amp behind the letters itself and kind of have them the letters right in front of it.
Yeah, that's what, yeah, I think we're on the same page with that one.
Yeah.
These are just logos, right?
Yes.
So I think that's too much for a logo.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. It's becoming a picture.
I mean, could you see that printed on a t-shirt, over the left pocket or something like that?
Yeah, exactly. You got to think about it scaled down. Exactly. This one, again, I feel like this is really close to what the original one looked like, and the word "and" is a little bit. It's.
I don't like that spread it out like that.
Yeah, I feel like it needs to kind of come down.
I think it's because I'm still looking at that music note for
from the last one. Yeah.
Well, to me, it reads, "and Hale Carter's Guitar Event."
Yeah. So you got to be, exactly. Because you got to think about it. If people haven't seen or aren't familiar with the store, you got to think of how they might read it. So again, you have to make sure like everything's like, you got to think of proximity when you're putting things together.
Here's a question based upon this picture. When if you said that you wanted to keep the guitar and the little circle in between, and you take the Helen Carter's and Guitar Center and you put them inside where the guitar strings go?
I think, well, you got to worry when it gets small because that wording's going to get really small.
Maybe if you started off with the guitar really big or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was thinking of the icon aspect, because you could easily just take out the words, leave that picture, and if they're popular enough, that could be their logo.
That is true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then this one, again, you're getting into,
Too much. Yeah.
a picture versus a logo. It's a little bit simpler than the first one, but again, 3 images is way too many images for a logo. But here's the thing, too. It's like, there's a lot of thought going into designing the lettering. Do you honestly, at this point, need these images? You might not. If we look at just the lettering on its own, that could be a good wordmark logo.
Yeah.
Let's see.
No.
I think it's just one line is just too long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I like that at least the guitar's simpler.
Yeah. Like you could put a shadow on that probably because it's simple.
And then this one, I don't think you need the guitar. I think if "and" was smaller, or became like an ampersand that maybe like ran into this or something, and you made Guitar Academy smaller and on one line, so Hale,
I would fix
ampersand Carter's Guitar Academy. I think that could start to work.
I would fix the H to make the one end, like the ends kind of match, because I like the diagonal, but I think the rest should fit the diagonal. or the H should match the straightness of the other letters.
Yeah. All right. So let's say that you know how the H comes down? What if the H is flush and instead it goes up, so it's kind of like makes a line?
Yeah.
That would be kind of cool.
Kind of reminds me of the font for Metallica.
Yeah, it does. And honestly, that's what I was thinking of. Like, you know, you don't want to, you could play off of it, but you don't want to be just like it.
Right.
Or like AC/DC.
Yeah. And
now,
then
I like that.
I like where we're going with this one.
The and should be smaller again.
Yeah. Because you want to think, what are the important words? Hale, Carter's, guitar, basically.
And then the apostrophe should be before the S.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. There should be an apostrophe. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we've got this one again. I think it's just too much.
Yeah.
But again, like a lot of thoughts going into thinking out, you know, the lettering. And I just don't think, like, I think if you just simplify it by removing the image, I think that you're getting closer.
That's too much too.
Yeah, this one's too much too. It's so easy to just do too much. And then same with this one.
The guitar's backwards.
Oh yeah. So again, I think if you lose the images, I don't think you need the images. It's becoming a picture instead of a logo. So we've got this one for a refined one. This one for a refined one.
Now that one, it's upside down.
Yeah, I think I like the idea. If you're going to do an image, I like the idea of doing the two cross guitars. I think this is the splotches is too much, but I think you could run Hill and Carter's Guitar Academy like in a circle around the guitars, you know, in an actual circle on a path. I think that might simplify it a little.
That one doesn't make any sense to me.
And then we've got this one, which again is just too much. And this font to me doesn't say rock and roll. This font to me says like graffiti, like kind of like tagged graffiti.
When if you kept the wings? Remove
Just the
the
wings?
guitar and play with the wing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it got rid of the guitar and just had just the wings, maybe?
Yeah.
That could be kind of cool. Yeah, that could be kind of cool. Huh. I never thought of it that way. Then we have Metropolitan Art Gallery.
Too much.
So,
I like it. It's just that the letters are too small and the frame is too big.
Yep.
well, I'm trying to figure out, I don't know if this is just a frame to place the logos in because it's on every page.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think it's and then I think Metropolitan spelled incorrectly. Hold on.
I think so. Metropolitan.
Yeah, there's an I in there. I was gonna say. I think that's spelled. So make sure you're spell checking. I think to me this is too simple. It's not anything more than the name typed out, so I think it needs a little bit more. Yeah. But I think it's a good font. I think this is a good font choice.
I think if you do the art, let's say if you wanted to keep the Metropolitan Gallery and you just take the art and make it more like handwritten or like drawing or anything like that.
Like stands out on its own?
Right.
Yeah, that could work. And then this is a sketch, so kind of going in a circle. I don't like vertical letters.
Yeah.
But I think Metropolitan Gallery, and then if art, like again, like maybe if it was like art, you know, like it looks like a script like coming through. I think that could be kind of cool.
Because now that I'm looking at this may work. So When if you put Metropolitan and Gallery together, since art is like right there,
Yeah.
like if you did Metropolitan and Gallery underneath, and then line up this A next to the N and the R next to the Y together, and then just put art down the side, like put the T underneath it. So, and if you wanted to play with like the vertical lettering, where art is kind of off-centered from it all.
Maybe, you know, like it was done purposely. It's purpose. It has like a very distinct feel to it.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, I would have to see it, but that could work. And then I don't feel. I'm not a fan of this font, the art font.
Yeah.
But I think like kind of being like art could work, you know, like as like a scripty, handwritten font where it looks like a signature, like somebody signed their name, art.
Right.
I think that could work, just not with this font.
Yeah, it needs to be more artsy.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of this font. I'm not gonna lie. I think the spacing is too much.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's so many better script fonts out there.
That's artsy.
Yeah, I'm not. This to me says Old English, and Metropolitan to me is like city New York, like you know, Studio. What was it, 51 or whatever? Like Metropolitan, you know, like downtown. So
You could use the word art in that font,
yeah,
but you know, mixing fonts together, especially if it's only 3 words, gets
yeah, that could be a little tough. You have it can go wrong very easily.
Right.
And then this is a good script font.
Yeah. That's
Now,
an artsy font.
that art, like with that Metropolitan and Gallery for the other ones, if you use the art like that, I can see it.
Yeah. I like this font choice because I think that this is a well-drawn font. I don't think I feel like you need to work with the scale of the letters. You know, everything's kind of the same size and the same spacing. I think like if you start to work like with the scale of each of the different words, like, you know, what's the most important? Maybe making art really big, Metropolitan Gallery a bit smaller. I think it could, you know, overlapping. I think if it just got pushed in that direction, I think this could work.
I say the Metropolitan and Gallery should be a more like a sans serif kind of font, you know, nice, crisp together. And then that art as a scripty thing, I would say will really, really work.
Yeah, I agree. And maybe even if you made the A like a little bit bigger than the R and the T, like art, you know? This is very difficult to read for me.
Yeah.
Especially in that font.
Yeah. So I don't think I'm not a fan, I'm just not a fan of vertical letters.
I mean, if you did something like make it look like dripping paint.
Even still, though, I think you could maybe have it be dripping paint with just the initials, but this is difficult to read.
Yeah.
And then this kind of reminds me of the other ones. It's just handwritten for script. And then these must be the finished ones. So again, I think they just need to be pushed.
That last one seemed like it has the most potential of the 3 if you just rework the way you want to put the lettering.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Let's see. Next one. Okay, I'll zoom in a bit on the top 6, and then we'll do the last 3. So I like the idea of like it's the park, Central Park. I really like that idea.
Yeah.
I think it's too many squares to make the circle.
Really? I like that, though. I don't know. There's something about that where it reminds me. Oh, I'm trying to think. It was on TV.
I've seen it, too.
You know what I'm talking about? It's like, it's from the 80s. I don't even know. I don't
Yeah, I
even
know
remember.
what you're talking about. It's on the tip of my tongue too.
Yeah, that's why I like it, and I like that the tree's growing out of it.
007.
Yes, yes,
In the
Kinda,
yes,
yeah.
beginning of it, when he shoots the gun and it goes down the barrel, and it kind of looks like that.
yes, yes.
The bullet, I mean.
I
Now,
like that. I like this with the CPSS in the center, and then Minneapolis and Portland where they're located. I like that idea.
I like that. I like that one.
This one's my favorite out of the bunch.
I really like that one, especially if you can use like a blue.
Yeah,
Like,
it just the simplicity of it is like this right here is beautiful.
Yeah.
and I like the font to go with it.
Yeah, I think that like I definitely think that this is the best of the best of the best. I really like this. Let's go. We'll scroll down.
I like number 4.
Yep, I like this one. Again, it reminds me of like kind of like old school 80s, 70s and 80s fonts, and I like that it's like, but we're software solutions, so we're clearly high tech. I don't know, it's kind of like a play on for me. I like that.
Reminds me of
Um,
CBS.
I like the idea of the brackets, things inside of the brackets, like when you're coding, but I don't think that this font choice goes with it.
I don't think so either.
Which is kind of a bummer because I'm like, oh, I really like that idea. This is cool, but again, it's too much.
I like the computer screen.
I do
I
too,
don't
but
like
I
the
think
way
once
that
you get this small, you're going to lose the name.
See, I'm wondering, say if you take away the stand, you leave the monitor. I
Okay.
mean, you can leave um the lettering inside of it. Maybe you can lighten it, and then just put the whole Central Park Software Solutions inside the screen.
Let's look at this small. This is what it would probably fit on a business card. See? You can't
Yeah,
tell what's going on. This
right.
still stands out. This one is lost as well. The CP still stands out. The C still stands out. So you got to kind of think. You got to think how small it might be, and whether or not it's going to still work.
Number 8 seems to work.
Yeah, I like this one. I definitely like this one, and I like this one too. The simplicity of just a tree.
Right.
So let's see which ones were chosen. Oh, good. That one was chosen.
Huh.
Yeah.
And then this one was chosen. And then this one, which again, it's like, I really like the idea of this one. You know what? I might say lose the brackets then because this is a good font. And I like the angle with software solutions. Maybe move the brackets down here for software solutions. And they're just not working with this.
You need to work on like some of the spacing because I think that part can be moved up a little bit.
Yeah. Like this one's like almost there. It's just
reverse the brackets. Make the points pointing at the Central Park instead.
Well, the brackets I think are meant because when you write code, you put your code in between the brackets.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so that's why that one works. But I think out of the 3, I really think that this is the strongest of the bunch.
I think so too. That C is just really, really good. And
this could turn into an icon just on its own.
And I just realized it's 3 tones and not 2.
Yeah, it is 3 tones. It kind of it's so subtle. It's like this is great line work. So, well done.
There you go.
Then we have Break of Day, Beagle Cafe.
Beagle.
Oh, did I say the bagel, not beagle? Don't eat your beagles. So we got the donut and the coffee. I like this sketch and how sketchy it is. However, I think the name is needed to go with this.
Right.
I think it could be. I would probably lose these ones right here and just keep the wheat for these, and like I would probably lose the bean.
Bottoms because they don't match the top.
Yeah, make sure it matches. but then I think you still need the name. And then this is just an image to me. This isn't a logo. This is a picture. So you need you need the name. And I think that there's just too much going on. Again, I like the idea of how this is turned into a campsite, and I think this could work. But again, we need the name, and I think I need to definitely know this is a bagel.
Right.
I do like the idea of this one where the bagel is the sun rising. I like that. I think that that's a good idea. All right, and then we've got the name inside of the bagel. This is, I'm just not a fan of this font, but I like the idea behind this.
Yeah.
I would probably put Bagel Cafe right side up instead of upside down.
Yeah. Bagel Cafe, and then do break of day even underneath, even flip it maybe? I don't know. Break of day, yeah, Bagel Cafe, like Bagel Cafe, going that way.
Yeah.
So I like this one again, like the mountains and then the bagel is rising. I like the idea of that. That makes me chuckle. But again, I think just need some stronger line work with the mountains. I like this one too. The bagels being eaten.
I still think it should be right side up.
Yeah, I think even if what if the words start here? Break of day Bagel Cafe going this way. I think that could work.
Yeah.
So the three, this still needs some work. The the line work definitely still needs some work. I'm not sold on this font. I'm not gonna lie.
I like the picture of that. I would have drawn it with the bagel laying flat next to the cup.
Yeah.
And then maybe use a nice mellow, bold typeface.
Yeah. I had to look back at the original. Again, I kind of like where this one is going, but we need the name.
Yeah, that one is simple and it matches. The lines match and yeah.
And then I do like the idea of the bagel rising over the mountains. I think that's hysterical. I like that idea. I'm not sold on this font though. I feel like you want like a more welcoming font.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think out of the three, I think this one can be probably pushed the most. I think it's really clever.
But I think it looks more like a donut than a bagel.
Which it might. So you might want to kind of work on that. Work on the images a bit. Yeah. But I definitely like the idea. Or even, what if it's not a bagel? It's Bagel Cafe, but what if it's an egg? Like a sunny side up egg rising?
That would be interesting too.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that.
Can you tell? I swear I ate dinner, but I'm apparently still hungry. And then we have Break of the Day Bagel Cafe.
Yeah, the fun one.
What was that?
Yeah, the fun one. This is mine.
And I think, again, just simplifying this drawing, I like the idea of where you're going with it, but there's just too much going on in the drawing.
Yeah. I noticed that with all of them.
Is it Break of Day or is it Break of the Day?
Yeah, I would say that was a mistake. It's supposed to be Break of Day.
Oh, okay. Well, that's kind of good because losing that word, I feel like this can start. What if I like where you're going kind of with a bubbly letter. Like, what if your letter
was trying to make it look like a bagel. Like if once it was done, it would be looking like bagel complexion or bagel.
Yeah. Like if it's like the dough, like it's, yeah, I think that could be cool. I like this, the Break a Day with the bagel coming out of the coffee cup.
That looks like a bagel.
Yes, it does. It does. It's the texture to it.
Yeah.
And then we've got Break of Day. I like this one. Where the break is
look like a toaster, but I forgot about that I kind of put them in, and I realized I had made a mistake by like this one, and just realized that the wasn't supposed to be there.
But that's okay, because I think if you just put of day underneath right here, right, and then maybe even run Bagel Cafe kind of like this, I think that could work.
Because I try to make it look like a toaster.
Yeah, okay. And then this is kind of getting simpler. So and I like the swoosh.
Yeah. Yeah, the buildings in the background with the
The
morning
bagel.
people coming up.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Throw some beams off of it.
Yeah.
I keep on putting that the.
Then we have the bagel again. See, yeah, these are some good bagels. And again, this is more of a picture. This would be like you know what? You could lose the building in the street and do just the awning.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too.
That could work. And then we've got the sun rising
There it
on the
is.
bagel. There it is. See?
There it is. It's got the beam
That's-
coming.
What if you have your bagel rising over the swoosh and behind your bagel it turns into the sun by being the egg?
Seeing that, I didn't even think about that.
See, there you go. All right, so you've refined this to the sun. I like this. This is simpler. I like this. And it's not much of it's enough of a deviation off of their original, but this is good. Like this is like, you know, you still recall the original place and you're like, "Oh yeah, okay, they simplified their logo." I think that this is good. I like how it's trailing off. I like this one. It's definitely friendly.
Mm-hmm.
I like this
Oh,
with the coffee bean.
Mhm.
That's cool. I might even move break up here.
You mean just go ahead and center it, make it bigger, and play?
No, it doesn't. I don't think it needs to even be bigger. I think I would just break of day and then move bagel up, like maybe bagel and then cafe outside of the bean.
And just make it more
squared off.
Tighter.
Yeah, a little bit tighter. I think because I really like the bean. It's so simple, but you can totally tell it's a coffee bean. And then for this one, I wish it was a bagel.
That's a cool design, though. It's got perspective to it.
Yeah, it does have a lot of perspective. Like I almost wish it was like it turned into a thin line right here. So you lost this part, and then it was just a thin line like here, and then it was like a bagel. It looked a little bit more like a bagel.
Yeah, this was kind of me trying to figure. This one actually came kind of spur of the moment because I started playing around with like the Pathfinder and circles.
Yep.
And seeing how it would turn out if I just, played around with the actual shape to make it the bagel.
Okay, yep. Yep. All right, good job. Let's see. Ooh, we're probably going to have to finish this tomorrow. Oh, another breakup day. Oh, hold on. Let me see if I can organize my pages. Let's rotate this. There we go. And open. All right. So here are the sketches. I really like this right here.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like this one, which becomes the square.
I like the bottom corner one.
This one?
Yes.
Or this one? Yeah, this one I think is great. I love the angle that the sun's coming in at. It's like breaking the plane. I like that. I think these are great sketches. I wish I could sketch this good. Like this is like such great line work.
I still think it needs the bagel cafe though.
Yeah, I think so too. The full even just smaller, bagel cafe.
Yeah.
But no, I I really like the direction these are going in. I really like the drawing of the bee with the.
Because it almost looks like.
I like the
It
square.
almost looks like a chef's hat. Yeah, I like.
It's like a face.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I like when words kind of resemble other things, and everybody kind of has their own idea of what it looks like. I think that's always fun.
Right.
So let's look at, all right, so these are the three. So this one was a fan favorite, so I'm glad this one was made. I like this, but I agree. I think it still needs to say bagel cafe. Even maybe even in this font, just small, Bagel Cafe.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then I like this one with just a simple coffee cup. I think I would color this in though.
Yeah.
Or make it look like steam.
Yeah, or oh yeah, just a little bit of steam coming up. Or if they have Wi-Fi, like it's the Wi-Fi signal.
Isn't
Yeah.
that supposed to be a bagel?
I don't know. Oh, maybe it is. Even if it is supposed to be a bagel, I think colored in it might be a little bit easier to tell.
Yeah.
Or at least make it whole, or at
Yeah.
least portion
Yeah.
off like it's broken off or something like that.
And then this one's good, but you got to be careful with, like, this needs to follow the curve of the circle. So you got to watch that path for Bagel Cafe. But I think one of these two might be the direction to go in. Although, like, I really like the breaking of the plate here. I'm having a hard decision on this one.
I like the first one.
I like the sun. I think it's fun.
I think I don't know, the sun, maybe if it could be reworked a little bit, but I like the first one.
Yeah, I like it too. I think it's good. I'm kind of bummed out. I wanted to see this one drawn out too, or even this one.
Right, I think those two would have been nice.
Yeah,
too.
I just love but you know what? Know what it is sometimes you draw something and you're like, there isn't a font that matches what I've drawn, and now I need to draw my own font, and that can be really tedious.
In and redraw, like draw it out, because I was thinking about trying that myself and just literally like lining out an actual font.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, this is kind of a good spot, I think, to end. We'll pick up tomorrow on number 15, it looks like. So we have to leave my cursor right there so I don't forget where we were. And tomorrow I'll also kind of do some demoing on the logo I did and set up the file for the assignment for this week so you guys can see how to do that. But yeah, I think that this was really good doing this critique. I think when you're sitting there staring at your own work and you're like, I just don't know. It's always good to have like a couple of other people give you the perspective too. So I think that this was a really good critique. Plus, everybody gets to see everybody's work, which is fun.
Yeah. Did you already hit mine?
I don't. I took the names off. I don't know if I did.
Because when I got here, you were on like number or the 7 or something like that.
Based on your last name, I don't think.
Mine was the guitar place.
This?
Yeah, that one.
Oh, nope, we'll do that tomorrow.
Okay.
So, yeah, so if you can make it tomorrow, definitely try it. It looks like, I was going to say, based on your last name, I think you're the last person.
Yeah. I hated that in sports, too.
Oh, I'm sure, in gym class. All right, well, thank you guys for being able to make it tonight, and if you can make it tomorrow, that will be awesome, and we'll finish up the critique, and we'll jump into the assignment for tomorrow, and I also have a pretty good presentation as well. So I will hopefully see you guys tomorrow night.
All right.
All right, have a great night.
Ciao.
Bye.